Welcome. In this video we will see how to make a basic programming of Previdia Compact panel. Enter the programming menu. Insert installer code 00004 at default. Click on Modify. First of all, let's program zones. Click on Zone button. Select Zone 1 and press Program. In this page you can change the name thanks to QWERTY keypad, change the pre-alarm time, and change the investigation time. There are two more options. Direct alarm on second pre-alarm. With this option, panel generates an alarm signal as soon as two detectors of this zone activate, even if the first pre-alarm time is still running. Alarm on second device only. With this option, the first detector will generate a pre-alarm signal with no time count. Panel remains in pre-alarm. The alarm signal will be activated only after a second detector of this zone has activated. Press Set to save programming. You can replicate the programming of this zone on the other zones. Select the zone and press Copy on. You can replicate the programming on a specific zone, for example on Zone 2. Or you can replicate it on a range of zones, for example from Zone 1 to Zone 8. Or on all zones. If you select Zone 2 and press Program, you can see that it is the same programming as Zone 1 now. You have to program devices in the respective zones now. Click on Point. Select the loop and press View. Select the device and press Program. Click on General Settings. In this page you can give a name to device. Program the zone. Select the zone to be linked to the point and press Choose. And enable or disable blinking on the device LED. Press Set to save programming. Also in this case, you can replicate the programming on a specific point, or on a range of points, or on all. Let's talk about groups now. Panel uses groups to activate outputs. Each group is inputs that can be loop devices, as detectors, call points or input modules, panel on-board inputs, equations, and the evacuation button. The group can activate outputs that can be loop devices as output modules, sounders or detectors are outputs, and panel on-board outputs. At default, panel has two pre-programmed groups: generic alarm group, where any alarm activates all output modules, sounders and panel on-board NAC outputs, and generic fault group, where any fault activates panel on-board relay. That's supposed to create two groups, one with first floor devices to activate first floor sounders, and another one with second floor devices to activate second floor sounders. Click on Group, and select an empty group. Panel has some groups with pre-programmed names. Select Group 12, and click on Program. In this page, you can rename the group. You can call it Floor 1. You can also program an activation delay and an activation time. Press Set to save programming. Also in this case you can replicate the group programming. Select the group and click on Copy on. You can replicate the programming on a specific group, or on a range of groups, or on all groups. Program the second group now. You can call it Floor 2. Press Set to save programming. We can program points in the respective groups now. We will program that Detector 1 activates Sounder 4, and Detectors 2, 7, 8 and 9 activate Sounder 5. Click on Point. Select the loop. and press View. Select a device and press Program. Click on Input Parameters. At default, device is in generic alarm group. Click to program Floor 1 group. Select it and press Choose. In this page, you can program also the pre-alarm mode and the Verify option, useful to avoid false alarms. Press Set to save programming. Program Detector 2 in the Floor 2 group. Programming is similar to the previous one. Select Floor 2 group this time and press Choose. Press Set to save programming. To program detectors 7, 8 and 9 in the same way, select Detector 2 and press Copy on. Program range from 7 to 9. You can verify that Detector 7 has the same programming of Detector 2. Let's program outputs. Select Sounder 4 and press Program. Click on Output Parameters. At default, Sounder is in the generic alarm group. Program it in the Floor 1 group. In case of in-ear sounders, you can select the alarm tone. Press Set to save programming. Program Sounder 5 in the Floor 2 group. Press Set to save programming. Let's talk about other devices. Call pointers only the input section. As with detectors, you can program group to activate. Select an input-output module. This device has both an input section and an output section. As well as for alarm, you can use the input to activate something connected in the output. Click on Input Parameters. You can select a different mode. For example, silent, in order to do not generate an alarm. Program to activate an empty group, for example group 14. And program self-restoring option, because it is an automation input. Press Set to save programming. Click on Output Parameters. Program mode as general, because it is not an alarm output. Program it in the group 14. And remove silenceable option, because it is an automation output. Press Set to save programming. You can program unbowed outputs also. Click on I/O line. As you can see, the default outputs are programmed in the generic alarm group. The unbowed relay is programmed in the generic fault group. It is programmed as inverted also. Thank you for watching this video on basic programming of Previdia Compact Panel.